earlier, but then good morning, everyone, and welcome to the virtual launch of GOMBURZA, the movie. I am Noel Ferrer, your host for this event. On behalf of JesCom, thank you very much for joining our virtual press conference live via Facebook and YouTube pages of the Jesuit Communications and Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. And this will be on Level Up also this Friday. Following the success of 2016's Ignacio de Loyola, the internationally acclaimed biopic of the Society of Jesus' founder, St. Ignatius of Loyola, now comes Gomburza, JesCom's new film offering based on the heroic martyrdom of Catholic priests Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, who were publicly executed by Spanish authorities on February 17, 1872. Today marks a great opportunity for us to meet the individuals behind Gomburza's production and to discover more about the martyr trio's powerful tale of faith and patriotism. So, for the second major motion picture of the media arm of the Society of Jesus' Philippine province, JesCom, led by the Executive Director, Father Nono Alfonso, SJ, Creative Director, Pauline Mangilog Saltarin, and Production Manager, Ernestine Tamana, we have assembled a stellar team to take the humble dream of Gomburza all the way to the big screen. Grabe brave at this time. I now have the privilege to introduce the production team behind Gomburza and our resource persons for the virtual press con. First up, kasama nito yung opening statement, parang debate lang. But we'll have the Q&A later. The Jesuit Communications Executive Director, the host of Radyo Katipunan's 87.9 FM's Jesuit Hour, Gomburza's executive producer, my friend, my boss, the brave person behind all this. I want to know where he's getting the energy and the funds for this. Father Nono Alfonso, SJ. Father, good morning and your opening statement.
Good morning, Noel. Thank you so much for doing this for us. Yes, opening statement, unity.
Okay.
Opening statement. We intended this film, Gomburza, for the celebration of the Catholic Church in the Philippines this year. It's celebration of its 500 years of existence here in the Philippines. So that was our original intention, of course. But na short circuit tayo ng pandemic, so hindi
At ng
nakaha.
elections. At ng elections.
Well, okay. So, but especially in the age of fake news, diba? When we talk about the history of the church, we have this parang mga fake news na kumakalat, like the symbol of Padre Damaso is very dominant. So the first objective is really to share truth, what really happened historically, what was the Gomburza all about, what was the involvement of the church in politics at that time, and so on and so forth. We were inspired by the statement of our historian, Father Jack Schumacher, that the church, especially this event of the Gomburza, was a trigger point for the emergence of the Filipino nations. Kumbaga, may bahagi ang simbahan sa pagiging bansa ng ating ng Pilipinas, di ba? So we were triggered by that. That was our inspiration. So that's why we have this project, Gomburza, to share the information that the church has been a positive kumbaga development in the history of the Philippine nation. And secondly, again, also in this time of great political turmoil, we would like to give inspiration. From our faith, we can draw courage and a sense of involvement in the life of our nation, which the priests, the martyrs, exemplified for us. So yan po ang aming objective para dito sa Gomburza.
Iboboto ka namin, Father. Maraming salamat. Next up, the writer, liturgical artist, art historian, professor of the Ateneo de Manila University's Fine Arts Program, GOMBURZA's historical consultant, my advisor too in our pioneering alternative theater group in college. A scholar or artist ang pinakamabilis pero pwedeng pinakamabagal na nagbimisa depende sa anong gusto niya maging. So Father Rene Javellana, SJ. Father, good morning.
Good morning, Noel. Good morning, my estudyante. Pareho tayo na bumibilog dito sa pandemic. Nakasuot ako ngayon ang aking pandemic shirt, yung aking scrub suit, just to remind us that where we are. Well, anyway, this year the church celebrates 500th year of Christianization. Pero nung high school ako, naalala ko, 1965 yun, we celebrated 400 years of evangelization. So, what's the difference between Christianization and evangelization? Actually, Christianization means nangyari yung unang binyag. Yun ang pagkaintindi noong 16th century. Bininigan yung mga tao, Kristiyano na kayo. But that's not enough. You have to know what you believe in. It took 40 years for the Spaniards to come back and then to teach people what it is to be a Christian. Now, before all of that took root, malalim na panahon, yung isang scholar na si John Rody Vera, sabi niya, until 1650, so that's almost 100 years, you cannot see the effect of this teaching about the faith. But, nung panahon ni GOMBURZA, dun na, makita natin very clearly that the Filipinos had absorbed the Christian faith. Masasabi natin yung 1521, pagtanim pa lang yun ng buto, hindi pa talaga nag-flourish. Masasabi natin transplantation of the Christian faith from Europe to the Philippines. But by the time of GOMBURZA, masasabi na natin, the faith became Filipino. At yun ang pinaka-importante. Hindi mo actually pwedeng paghiwalay yung dalawang yun eh. In a sense, yung pagka-Pilipino natin at ang ating pananampalataya. And I think we have to go back to the inspiration of these three people. And as a historical consultant, I like these three people because they represent really three ethnicities. So historically, si Padre Burgos, ang pinaka-Tisoy, okay?
Yeah.
Tatay niya 100% Castilla, who was assigned to Vigan, who met his mother there, who was herself a mestiza. So siya, sabi siya yung talagang Spanish, Tisoy, siya yung Konyo kid. Tapos naman si Father Gomez, he was actually mestizo Chinese. And there are records of Mariano Gomez being a very, very good leader of the church in the Cavite area, and makikita mo yung kanyang pagka-Chinese. May record kasi ako na nabasa sa archives ng Archdiocese of Manila. Sabi ni Padre Gomez, isang pare na nagpapatayo ng simbahan, bakit yan ka bumibili ng simento at kahoy? Ang mahal-mahal niyan. Lumapit ka sa akin, kakilala ko sa Binondo. So ang ganda ng binyat. Then in the third, si Father Zamora, yun ang tunay na Tagalog. Anak ng galing talaga sa Pandakan. And he was a very colorful person because he spent his early ministry actually in Marikina. So when I look out my window, I see Marikina, I see the Church of Our Lady of the Abandoned, and I see across the Kapitan Moy, those places already standing when Padre Gomez was around. So parang, wow, these people are not really very distant from us. Their memories are still there in the buildings around us. So I think it's timely that we accentuate the lives of these people. Napakita talaga that Filipinos, when they absorb the faith and understand what the faith really means, they also become great nationalists. So siguro yan ang gusto nating i-emphasize.
Ang galing. Parang tunay na pantas at may mini lecture na tayong narinig. Pero I'm kind of transported to my childhood also pag nakikita ko si Father kasi para siyang si Ziggy na maraming kaalaman. Anyway, the next one. A multi-awarded person na ayaw mag-a-attend ng mga awards. Pero he's Best Production Design awardee for his work in a lot of films like Honor Thy Father, Seclusion, Watchlist, at marami pang iba. Nandito siya, buti na afford siya ng JesCom. Si Ericson Navaro, ang ating production designer.
Hello everyone, good morning. I'm excited to do GOMBURZA with JesCom and with everyone here. This is beyond our normal production design process. So I'm looking forward na yung ano man ang naging nag-magnify before sa incident ng Cavite Mutiny, ma-continue natin at ma-extend dito sa pinaglalaban ng mga Filipinos before up to now. Maraming salamat.
So na-afford ka ng JesCom, Ericson. So labor of love to.
Love it.
Okay, nasabi yun ha. Anyway,
pandemic price yan, pandemic price.
rate. Okay. Next up, ito nga, malaki yung project kasi nandito siya from LA. So, MFA, nagtapos ang MFA in Cinematography at the American Film Institute Conservatory. Recipient of not the Alejandro, not the Rachel Angon, not the Rachel Ann Wolf, but the Rachel Morrison Scholarship. Elevated to the Hall of Fame status by the FAMAS, sino may pinakamabigat na trophy. FAMAS nung kagalang-galang talaga. At ang Metro Manila Film Fest has joined the ranks of the 100 luminaries of Philippine cinema. Kala natin napakatanda, pero heto, batang-bata, ang Director of Photography ng GOMBURZA, si Carlo Mendoza. Carlo Men, good morning. Alam ko good evening dyan sa LA.
Yes, hello. Good morning sa inyong lahat. At ako'y nagagalak na makasama dito sa proyektong ito kasi bilang isang Atenista, bilang isang Filipino, at saka bilang isang Kristiyano, I think isang malaking karangalan na makasali dito sa pelikulang to. No? So excited talaga ako na muling makatrabaho si Pepe dahil the last project we did together, the last movie, was back in 2012, right? So wow. This is 10 years after, so you know we've malaki na yung ginrow namin as filmmakers and as human beings. So it would be interesting how we will collaborate to tell this story. And at the same time, syempre excited ako dahil nandyan si Sir Rody na kapatid ng ninang ko. Mula bata ako, lagi ko nakikita yung sister ni Sir Rody, laging dumadalaw sa bahay. Very close sila ng mom ko. And syempre, andyan din si Ate Paul na isa sa mga naging inspirasyon ko mula bata ako sa 5 and up na gusto kong maging katulad nila. So, yun. So, you know, it's a very special project for me in so many ways.
Galing. Speaking of paghaba ng buhok, at pareho kayo ni Pepe, no, na humaba ng buhok. Anyway, any project na sinasalihan nitong taong to, parang prestige project. So mapalad yung JesCom to have him. Multi-award-winning playwright, screenwriter, director, at napakagaling na artista rin. Umpil Gawad Balagtas Awardee for his literary contributions to Philippine drama. Recipient ng Gawad Tanglaw ng Lahi Award ng Ateneo de Manila University noong 2015. Awarded Gawad Dangal ni Balagtas by the Komisyon ng Wikang Filipino ng 2019. Himself, a really good performer. Sana makast din siya dito sa GOMBURZA. Nandito po si Rody Vera.
Ay, hello. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Siguro, ako hindi, correct me if I'm wrong, pero ako yata yung isa sa pinakahuling pumasok sa proyektong ito, no? Pero mukhang ako rin yung unang dapat magbigay ng output.
Oo. Kasi magsisimula sa script mo, Rody.
Correct. And yung pagkakapasok ko dito, I think para sa akin is a real blessing dahil ewan ko, baka siguro nagiging interesado na ako ng sobra sa pagsusulat ng mga historical movies, historical films, at medyo dumadami na rin yun. And wala akong masyadong alam sa GOMBURZA story except for the fact that when the very first screenplay that tackled history na ginawa ko ay yung buhay ni Pasiano Rizal. Mm-hmm. And that is why when this project came to me, I pushed for Pasiano to be part of it because may malaki silang relationship ni Burgos. So yeah, I'm very excited. That this is probably the first time I'm going to work with Pepe Diokno, and so far, you know, what we've gone through discussing the whole film, I think maganda yung kalalabasan. And then sabi nga ni Carlo, kapatid ko yung ninang niya, at yung tatay niya ay pulmonologist ko. So So nakatulong ito sa nagte-text kami, yun lang. But anyway, apart from that, I'm really very excited because of this project. Dahil, gaya nga sabi natin, this film will really prove that revolutions are never done overnight. No, it takes decades. So, I guess itong revolution dinadaanan natin ngayon, kung revolution ang matatawag, huwag tayong mawala ng dahil matagal talaga. Maraming salamat.
Pero sana maganda yung kahinatnan kasi nandyan si Rody Vera. Anyway, the next one, award-winning film, TV, commercial director, Venice International Film Festival, Horizonte Prize winner, chairman of Epic Media, independent film company behind Love Diaz's Berlinale Silver Bear awardee, Hele sa Hiwagang Hapis, and box office hits like Antoinette Hadaones' The Thing Called Tadhana and Fangirl, award-winning commercial director for, alam ko yan, Jollibee, P&G, Unilever, Nestle, Unilab, BPI, Department of Tourism. Ang anak ni Chel Diokno po, nakasalanan na lang natin kung hindi magiging senador. GOMBURZA Director, Pepe Diokno.
Thank you, Noel. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I guess I want to start by saying thank you to Father Nono, to Paul, to Ernest, to Father Rene, and everybody at JesCom for this opportunity to work with you guys. Kahit na ako ay isang lasalista, thank you. It really is an honor to do this on the 150th anniversary of the martyrdom of GOMBURZA, and also kahit na late in celebration of the 500th year of evangelization. With this project, we really hope to present a different perspective for today's audiences. Many Filipinos know the three priests for their death, and unfortunately, many only for their death. With our film, we hope to present their life and legacy, what they lived for, what they fought for, and how that became, as Father Rene mentioned, the seeds of a revolution. Mm-hmm. So there have been a lot of films set during the Philippine Revolution. This is like an important prequel to all of that. So I'm really excited to start working on this film. See, Rody has written a really beautiful, emotional, and rich script. Ericson has such a really beautiful attention to detail. And I can't wait to explore yung mga sets that he's going to do. And Carlo honestly brings out, I think, the best in me as a director. So it's going to be a very exciting ride for me. I haven't made a film in 7 years.
Wow.
Something like that. So I'm happy to be back doing what I love.
Salamat, Direk. I'll shoot the first question. Anyone can just answer. You're doing this at a time when cinema is still not on 100% operations. Ang lakas ng loob. Father Nono, can you set the tone? Bakit nyo kailangan gawin or gustong gawin at this point? At paano yung distribution, I guess, nito? Because it is such a big gamble.
Yes, actually, sina Paulino, sina Ernestine, and of course sina Pepe, gusto na kaagad last year, pero kailangang sumunod tayo dun sa sitwasyon sa pandemya. So we postponed to this year nga. Ngayon medyo okay na naman eh. By March now, alert level 1 na tayo. Sina Pepe nagsushoot na sila, alam ko nagbabubble sila eh. Pero sabi namin, nung tiningnan namin, yung bubble kasi doble yung budget kaagad niyan eh. Dumodoble, di ba? Kasi you have to have everyone live in the bubble, feed them, etc. So doble-doble talaga. So we had to wait kasi hindi naman pumayaman ng JesCom. So I think the time is ripe. Pwede na uling mag-shoot. So we are ready.
So kita natin talagang it's really more production na sana magawa yung pelikula, pero yung distribution part parang so hindi talaga profit yung gain, yung aim, yung objective dito, Father, or gusto natin bumalik din yung ganon, pero it seems like tapusin gawin yung produkto.
Yes, oo. Tsaka parang di ba, ang galing din ng movie industry, ng film industry, nag-adapt din sila dito sa pandemic, di ba? Through Netflix in terms of distribution. Maraming nagsulputan na yun nga, the primary objective of course is not to earn but to share or spread the message, diba, of this film. That's why ang concern namin is to be distributed, and you have platforms all over for this.
For more and more people to like watch this. A hand is raised. Ma'am Luisa Morales of Philstar.
Yes, I have a question po. Bahala na lang po siguro if sino po ang gustong sumagot. I think it was touched upon on a little kanina po, no? But how important is it to be able to come out with a movie like this that is, based on facts, well researched, in times today that there is much issue with historical revisionism po?
I'll try to answer that.
Yes.
Siguro, precisely because of historical revisionism, you have to come up and say, wait, yung mga kinakwento ninyo, nasa ng facts niyan.
Yeah.
So the only way to defeat historical revisionism is to have your facts straight and acknowledge what you know and what you don't know. So as historical consultant for this film, I'm very careful. I mean, even like when we were doing San Ignacio was also the historical consultant. I look at the costumes. Sabi ko, look, yung costumes niyo are too colorful. Costumes yan ng Italian Renaissance. Ang Spanish noon, paboritong kulay ng Spain noong time na yun, itim at saka brown earth colors. So we have to be very particular about that, because the only way you can revisionism is interpretation, but facts and data you cannot change.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes people create revisions with absolutely no facts. It's all fantasy. So that is your enemy. The cure to fantasy is fact.
Galing. Father, corollary to that, another historical note probably, our question from Ma'am Ceres Doyo. Could the three priests be candidates for canonization daw?
I don't know. I mean, let me answer that, because I do have experience like working with the congregation for the causes of saints in Rome. In fact, I'm working right now on the cause of a Jesuit martyr. The difficulty is that you have to prove that they really died for the faith. Okay? Now there is a possibility which has been called the third approach to canonization, which Pope Francis opened up, and that is called the oblatio vitae, the offering of life. Although they were killed explicitly for political reasons, you may argue that because they tried to live their lives in a particular way and defending the faith, and they lived a virtuous life, and they stood for a value, and in this sense, the value that they stood for was the value of nationalism, the value of justice. It might be possible, okay, but it's a tedious process. With this particular cause that I've been working with, we started the research in 2013. Inabutan na kami ng pandemic. We passed through the very long diocesan process. Now we're in the Roman process, and the papers keep coming back and forth from Rome back to me. I send it to the Diocese of Dipolo, paikot-ikot, because Rome is very particular about the facts that you present. Sabi ko nga, the paper that is created for Rome to study is called a positio. Writing a positio feels like writing 5 doctoral dissertations. Kasi tinitingnan lahat. Spelling, pati font size, pati spacing tinitingnan. And the footnoting that they're using in Rome is the Italian style. Hindi ako sanay. Kasi alam ko yung napag-aralan ko, which is the Western style, the American style, APA or Turanian, ibang style sa Italy. So it can be done, but I would think the process is tedious. And the first thing that always they will ask is, are there miracles attributed to invoking these people? So yun isang malaking question.
So mauuna munang matapos yung pelikula bago sila mag-canonize. Okay, next, one of News 5, One News may ask a question now.
Hi everyone. Siguro po kung sino man pwedeng sumagot. Sa panahon po ngayon ng social media and technology, how challenging it is for the team, for the production, to tell the story of the GOMBURZA, lalong-lalo na sa Gen Z audience?
Probably Rody and Pepe, no?
Yeah, silang dalawa.
Sorry. Pepe?
I was gonna pass it on to you, Rody.
Ano age before beauty ba or what?
Hindi ako Gen Z, no?
But baka I can speak first about the script that I've read from Rody. From a millennial perspective, reading the script, I was really engaged and hooked from start to end. Madaming nangyayari and napaka-interesting na mga characters. I like the way that each character is given a personality, and you really get to explore the world that they live in.
Yeah.
Makapal, very rich yung kwento, and I think that's what people go to the movies for. It's to hear stories about characters, to see the conflict that they are up against, and then also to explore this world that they haven't seen before. I don't think that, yes, there is TikTok, and most of the time of Gen Y is spent on social media, but they also still go to the movies. And I can tell just based on from the script that this is going to be a very interesting movie to watch for them.
Sir Rody?
As for me, I think kahit anong generation, ang pinaka-key pa rin ay story and characters. If it's a very interesting story, especially lalong-lalo na hindi lang ito basta kwento ng kahit sino, kundi kwento ng ating bayan, no? Kung ang pagkakalahad nito ay mga tao, mga tauhan na makaka-relate ang mga bata or mga matatanda. So when I wrote this, hindi ko naman iniisip na Gen Z lang ang dapat makaintindi nito or makarelate, no? But then gusto ko ring isipin na yung impressions natin about the Gen Z might probably be on the superficial side, where they are more attuned to special effects, etc. That's probably why superheroes are the in thing nowadays. But more than that, these heroes have a very important story to tell, no? And I think doon kakapit ako. Hindi lang dahil i-require ito ng mga teacher, nila mga estudyante, kung hindi dahil maaring doon magsimula, maaring ganon. Pero I think yung kwento nila, makakapasok pa rin sila. Kasi mga bata pa rin naman, bukod kay Mariano Gomez, mga bata rin ito.
Yeah.
They were there, Gen Z of their generation. So I guess that's a good starting point for inspiration.
Yeah.
Ako bang
I want to point out.
Okay, go direct.
Just want to add lang, the film is set, si Burgos and Zamora are in their 30s, and yung mga estudyante ni Burgos na sina Pasiano were college age, and I think if it were set today, they would be considered yung mga woke youth who are very active in causes. Yun sila. So I think the kids of today will see themselves on screen.
Ang ganda, no? So
Pwede na po bang malaman kung sino yung mga aktor na gaganap na GOMBURZA?
Okay, as of now, wala pa talaga, Von. But I can make a round of all the people here na nasa panel, yung desired or wish list nila, kung sino yung gusto nilang mag-play. Can we start with yung pinaka, parang ipapaubaya sa creatives yung decision? Father Nono, kung ikaw yung alam ko kahit sino sasabihin mo na pwede to play the part, no, as the producer. Pero yung gusto mo, kung ikaw yung masusunod.
Hindi ko masyadong kilala pero ito lang ang pakiusap ko kay Pepe. May mga lumapit na sa akin mga Jesuita, even as recent as this morning. Baka rin pwede naman silang extra.
Ayun pala yun.
Mga seminarista, mga Jesuitang pare, kahit daw extra, kahit yung i-execute lang ng mga praile, payag sila. Yun lang po.
Ayun pala yun. Parang Annette Goazon lang sa GMA Films, no? Atenista rin. So, kailangan mag-extra yung mga tao. Well, Father Javellana, go. Wish list. Kung ikaw, alam mo, base sa characters na pag-aralan mo?
I don't have a definitive wish list right now. But early on, we were trying to explore possibilities of places to shoot. One of the things that came to mind was Casas Filipinas de Acosar in Bagak sa Bataan. I was able to meet the Paris priest there, and we were telling that we were thinking of these things. Sabi niya, kung kailangan nyo ng crowd, tawagin nyo aming youth group. So, papayag sila. Pakainin nyo na ng Jollibee, okay na yon. So, sabi ko, sige. So, at least as far as crowds or what, I think when we start moving, that will be one of the easiest things. But the main characters, I don't know yet. May mga nagbibirang kami ni Father Nono, pero hindi naman ako seryoso doon.
Okay. Rody, maganda to. Nung sinusulat mo, siguro may mga hulma, no? May mga posibleng mga pangalan na wishlist lang, Rody. So, ikaw?
Mahirap kasi nung una kong sinulat to, syempre, it's in the language that I know.
Yeah.
Kanya lang, we have decided that a large part of the conversations and the scenes will have to be in Spanish. So, kung iisip ko man yung mga dream actors ko na makapasok, medyo isang malaking challenge para kay kasi lahat sila talagang mga bihasa sa Kastila, knowing the number of them being Filipinos, ang definition ng pagiging Filipino noon ay mga Kastilang ipinanganak sa Pilipinas. Hindi pa naman yung mga katulad nating Pilipino ang tawag sa atin noon Indio. So tayo yung mga mabihasa sa mga Tagalog, etc. So yun ang medyo malaking challenge na maaring mangyari. Ngayon niisip ko sino kaya ang pwedeng maging magmukhang Santo Santito,
Yes. Rody, give us names. I think the press would like to quote you at least, no?
Tuloy dahil pinipressure mo ko, iniisip ko na lang kung sino yung pinakagwapo.
Sige, go. Sino?
Hindi. Wala.
Pwedeng mag-aral at ipapakommit nyo mag-aral ng Spanish.
Wow.
Mag-aral talaga. Sino sa tingin mo?
Well, hindi ako makaisip right now ngayon. Siguro ang naisip ko lang yung mga teenagers si Pasiano at saka si Ben Camino at saka si Gregorio Santiago, but they're very minor characters.
Like who there for those roles?
Ay, ko alam.
Kapag pinapanawagan natin, umuulat sila.
Ng catalog. Kailangan ko ng ABS-CBN ang Star Cinema catalog. Or ng GMA catalog.
Naman to. Pero salamat, Rody.
Yeah.
Carlo, go. You as the photographer, you the cinematographer, who would fit the role sa tingin mo? Kung ikaw, parang wishlist ng GOMBURZA kasi very, very important yung casting, no?
Yeah, actually yesterday nagkausap kami ni Pepe. We had a call.
Okay.
And yun din tinanong ko sa kanya yung actors. Tinanong ko rin yung actors kasi wala, it's very difficult it's a very difficult movie to cast. I believe.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Dahil kailangan it's apart from just the face. It's really for me it's really also the performance kasi you may have a great script and then great visuals or whatever, but if the performance isn't right, the movie's not gonna connect to the audience. So it's it really is sino pa rin yung kayang mag-perform nung makuha yung lahat ng layers ng mga characters. Kasi medyo sabi nga ni Pepe, yung daming layers. Yan. Mahabang usapin to So, yun.
Sanay sa mga
wala akong wishlist.
Sanay sa mga Theo orals na parang naiikot nila yung mga sagot. Ericson, give us what a production designer feels na okay at fit doon sa role.
Ako siguro, production design-wise, since costume is the one closest to the actors, mas pipiliin ko yung mga actors na in terms of physicality and in terms of greatness pagdating sa screen, mas lalabas yung yung pagiging actor niya. So, mas gugustuhin ko may pag-work sa mga actor na medyo magiging madali makatrabaho, magaan katrabaho.
Nako, may ibang layer.
Sa idea na medyo matrabaho itong pelikula na.
May ibang layer naman si Ericson, no? May character at attitude din naman na kino-consider. Kasi yun, we've seen some, ano ba to, Rody? From bata ba, natatanda? Or paano to? Wala, isang age.
Ang start ng pelikula ay mga 1863.
Okay.
A year or so bago namatay si Padre Pedro Pilaes. So,
Okay.
magiging pari na si Jose Burgos. Pari na rin si Zamora at matanda na yung parish priest na si Gomez sa Bacoor for a long time.
Correct.
Doon sa part na yun, and then up to 72. So siguro the whole film will span mga 10 years or so.
Okay. So there's no need for a young ganito and an older ganito, ano? Kasi nagkakaroon ng problema because we hear of mga biopics, no? Na hindi talaga magkamukha at magkatugma yung bata at saka nung lumaki na. Yun yung nangyari dun sa last biopic na na-release dito sa Pilipinas, di ba? Pepe, ikaw na sumagot. Give us names. I guess the press will parang we've talked about it. You can say it to the universe so that they will embrace it. But pag nalaman ng mga artistang yan that we're trying to consider them, they might want to read for the part.
Now, I know that you guys would appreciate names. And sa totoo lang, we're already starting the casting process. But it's a big commitment, as mentioned a while ago.
Yes.
It's going to take months. Just to get into character, you have to learn Spanish. So ang hirap kasi I think to answer with names as of now. But I think once we're ready to make an announcement, you guys will be the first to know.
Oh, na ganun ka open. But ito will you be opening it parang for auditions? Parang ganun ba? Or you will be casting on your own? What are the considerations?
We have a wish list.
Okay. Sabihin na natin,
so
pwede ba natin sabihin para...
It's so hard.
No, toss it there to the world so that, parang we invite the world to affirm it.
You know what? What if the people who want to see a certain person can comment on JesCom's Facebook page with their suggestions for casting?
Grabe naman. So yun yung sasabihin natin, no? I-open yung casting or magbibigay ng mga pangalan. So, Michelle, someone from the business world, medyo nag-scroll up na kasi yung questions dito. She was talking about the process whereby the script, the material came about. Rody, can you give us an overview of how the script came about? And then Ericson also and Carlo, yung prosesong pinagdaanan nyo dun sa departments nyo dito sa pagbubuo ng material dito ng GOMBURZA. Rod, go.
Basically, syempre, ang pinaka niyan would be documents, no? Yeah. And si Paul Salterin dumped a whole batch of
talaga, okay.
Talagang katulad ng Goyo, ganun karami yung reading materials, and many of them are actual documents, of course translated into English, and so yun yung pinaka I had to understand the story on my own rather than just being fed to me. Of course, there were interviews from several people. I have to piece them all together and find connections that probably baka yun yung pinaka isa kong naging contribution, what was the connection of GOMBURZA with Pedro Pilaes, with even from Hermano Pule. That's exactly, I think that was the prologue of the film. So lahat yun kinakailangan kong alamin kung ano yung nangyari, etc. But basically we decided to base the interpretation from generally from Schumacher's historical interpretation. Yung mga libro, kasi una siya yung isa sa pinakamaraming naisulat na materials tungkol sa panahon na ito. Of course, there's a Villaruel, which I also consulted. But yeah, and of course, right, kanina lang, before we started, nagle-lecture si Jose Victor Torres sa National Parks Development on Gomburza din, may iba rin siyang attack, but basically also the basis of that is not new material, as far as I can recall, even up to now, but interpretation of what we already have.
Okay, it's nice, no? Parang it's a parang done script, pero it still can be revised.
Yeah.
Is it still a work in progress? It is. Okay.
Well, ganun naman sa pelikula at sa
pag-history, Galing. Ericson, tell us the process that you went through naman.
Okay, for this movie naman, ang pinaka-driving force kasi or motivation ng production design is yung historical aspect nito, di ba? Yet, ang nagiging concern ko lang dito, aside from the mga materials na nag-gather namin, mga written materials na napakarami naman talaga, medyo may konting limitations in terms of the photographic materials, which is the actual photos of the period. Okay, because I think ang oldest photograph in the Philippine history is around 1875, which is at least parang mga 3 years away from the death of the 3 martyrs. So coming from that, nagkakaroon na kami ng creative license, okay, in creating our designs. So na yun, medyo malakas ang mga paintings of the generation, paintings of the period. So kumukuha kami ng inspiration from that, okay? Like the Caravaggio, Charoscuro, mga Felix Resurrection. Nakaroon na ng liberties, creative liberties, at sumasabay na ito sa historical accuracy and mga aside from our research na rin. Yun. So medyo labor intensive siya, exciting siya. Okay, binabalikan ko ang pagiging history student ko. Yun. So excited ako for this.
Para tayong nag-aaral lahat, no? Carlo, man, before Father Rene, will it be black and white? Will this be black and white? No doubt. Sabi
Hindi siguro. Pero okay. Mahabang, like sinabi nga si Ericson kasi, yung production design, yung cinematography will take also inspiration from the ideas of the production design team, ano yung light sources, ano yung costumes, yung colors, ganyan. Kasama rin yan dun sa mga pag-uusapan namin ni Pepe. But at the same time, ako personally, mahaba pa yung proseso namin ni Pepe kung paano ikukwento Kasi from the script, pag-uusapan pa yan, breakdown pa. Parang as you're shooting it, you're kind of rewriting it, di ba?
Yeah.
So, magsisimula pa lang kami niya ni Pepe. Sabi ko nga magiging mahaba yung proseso, di ba? Pero at the same time, dahil ako rin yung nag-shoot ng Bonifacio at saka ng El Presidente, so parang dapat mahiwalay din yon. Hindi rin siya magmukhang ginawa lang ng isang cinematographer, di ba? Pero dahil iba naman yung kwento at iba yung director, malamang iba yung magiging itsura niyan.
Father Rene?
Yeah, I was gonna comment on Ericson's statement. Actually, may nahanap na daguerreotype na picture older than 1870. It's dated to 1840 and found in the Hispanic Society of New York. You can actually see the pictures online. Unfortunately, hindi tao. Pictures actually of Marikina, the river, and some of the houses. Tapos, in terms of costume design, although wala pang masyadong photography at that time of Burgos, there are naman paintings, for example, the paintings of the Asuncion brothers, Mariano Asuncion. So you can see the kind of calado dresses the women wore. So so the no photography existed at that time that much. At least there are paintings that can be consulted on. A lot of them are in the collection of either the National Museum or nasa Central Bank yung mga pictures of mga. So you can get a rough idea of what people look like Tapos,
Galing.
when it comes to priest, the priest, sutana is so conservative. They haven't changed, you know. Yung suot ng Dominican, ng Franciscan, ngayon, when they wear their habit, pareho pa rin. I mean, it's not changed for what, 1,000 years. No? So, at least when it comes to church people, they're easier to give a costume. Yun.
And they're easy like to be there, no? Kasi gusto nga mag-extra. But with all these requirements, before I call on Marinel, Father Nono, hindi ka ba kinakabahan sa cost nito? They're all talking about all these recreating Marikina and all these costumes and all. How much have you earmarked for this project? You're on mute pa. Ayaw mo parinig.
Nagbibilang pa ng pera.
Nagbibilang pa kami ng pera.
Yeah.
Pero I was assured by the team na kakayanin daw.
Okay. But you will open things parang kampanya lang, no?
Yes.
For funders and co-producers, no?
Of course. Yung Ignacio movie, that cost us 50 million. Ano lang yun, ang daming tumulong sa amin nun.
Okay.
So, I expect the same thing to happen. Maraming tutulong. Especially now that we are launching and people di ba, would know. So, same formula po ang gagawin namin.
Same formula, as in how can they help, Father?
Magka-fundraising kami. After this launch, magse-set in na rin yung aming yung fundraising committee.
Grabe.
Tuloy-tuloy na rin. Yes.
So wala na talagang tulog sina Paul tsaka sina Ernestine, no? I want Marinel Cruz to open her camera. Let's just greet her. Happy birthday para buong linggo extension ng birthday niya.
Happy birthday.
Sabi ko ikaw na lang mag-ask. Ikaw talaga, Noel.
Go.
Oh, sige, okay. My questions are for Sir Rody and Pepe. First kay Pepe, yun nga, aside from knowing about the lives of the Gomburza, what do you hope to learn from this experience as a filmmaker? At saka, you said nga na you've not directed a film in 7 years. So how do you plan to attack this? Parang pa-share naman to us your plans.
Well, I haven't directed a film in 7 years, but I've been directing more than ever the last 7 years, doing many commercials and branded films. And I think I've grown a lot in terms of my process. I know what I like and what I don't much better. And for me, this is the perfect film to get back into the medium with, because napaka-rich ng kwento niya. So what do I hope to learn with this is, first, I really see this as like a very character-driven story. We're not just we're following, of course, the lives of Gomburza, but there are other characters that you're going to be seeing in this movie that haven't really been explored before or heard of much before. Like, for example, Father Pelaez, who is an unsung hero in our history, not as known as the three priests, but somebody who deserves a lot of credit. I hope to learn how to explore their lives in such a way that brings them the respect and honor that they deserve, and do it in such a way that is really emotional and engaging to people. This is not going to be like a textbook brought to screen. This is going to be like watching a really beautiful and engaging movie. So yeah. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Kanina kasi medyo natanong na ni Von, but yeah, paano yung attack mo dun sa film? Will it be like parang more for the Gen X? Ay, sorry, ako pala yung Gen X. Gen Z or millennials? Paano yung, what do you imagine? While hindi mo pa naman ginagawa, but what do you imagine doing?
Yeah. Okay, like I said a while ago, the script that Rody has written is very rich. It's not a slow film. it's ang dami nangyari. Rody mentioned a while ago there, it's set within the span of 10 years, and that will be told within an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's really packed with events and packed with characters na I think that audiences today are not going to be bored by it. They're actually going to be very, very engaged. May mga pasikot-sikot kasi yung kwento eh. People that you think ang bida na hindi pala. Lives that you hope are going to be lived na are cut short. It's a story about friendship and betrayals. It's about faith and religion at the same time, but it's also about politics. And at the same time, you're going deeper and deeper into actual human beings. One of the directions that I wanted to go with Rody was I didn't want the three priests, for example, to be textbook two-dimensional characters. I want to see who they are as friends, as mentors to others, as equals. I want to see who they are when they're at home. And when I think, can make historical characters more relatable, then audiences today will also sort of latch onto them much more.
Ganda. Okay. Thank you, Pepe. Sir Rody, pakwento naman about the script. Yun nga, is it gonna be a tribute to the GOMBURZA? Will be seeing ba both the good and the bad? Yan. Sir Rody.
Lahat naman ng tao, lalo na sa kasaysayan, may good at saka may bad. Ano? They're all embodied in one person, in one human being. And yun yung, I think, yung pinaka gusto kong ipalabas. These are human beings that happen to be there in historical circumstance. No? Hindi ko alam kung dahil sa pagpapakita nito ay hindi na sila pwedeng makanonize dahil hindi ko sila pinapakita bilang candidates for sainthood or even their martyrdoms. Hindi lahat sila pare-pareho ang pagtanggap or pag-interpret sa kamatayang kinakaharap nila, and I'm talking about the three priests, and each character has his own quirks, no? May isang sugarol, may anak, these are human beings. Yun yung I think yung gusto kong i-portray. And then they interact with other human beings, no? Even the Governor Generals, si Carlos Maria de la Torre at saka si Rafael Izquierdo, they decided, they have their own motivations why they did this. At mas doon ako umaangkla, hindi lang dahil ito masama o ito mabuting tao. Gusto kong alamin kung bakit nila ginagawa, because whatever they did are all historical decisions that they made. Kaya nangyari, etc. So mas doon ako nagiging interesado, which hindi ako, may mga gaya ko, sabi ko kanina, may mga nasulat na akong historical films. Laging ganun yung attack sa mga tauhan, no? Hindi ko sila ina-idolize or ina-idealize. Dahil sila yung mga tao. Tayo na lang siguro yung tumitingala sa kanila dahil tinitimbang natin sa kanilang buhay kung ano yung pinaka nagawa nila. Yun.
Quick questions lang. Thank you, Marinelle, birthday girl, for the week.
Happy birthday.
Before I call on Mel Navaro, I have quick questions from Ceres again. How about women roles? Of course, GOMBURZA yung bida, no? Rody, can you talk about the women roles, significant women roles in the movie?
Wala akong makitang significant na women role.
Ay, lagot kayo.
Yeah. Because it's the priesthood eh. Basically, nakapasok tayo sa mundo ng mga fraile at saka ng mga sekular.
Yes.
Sa labas nito, sa mga estudyante ng universidad, mga lalaki din yung nandoon. Yung mga nagsimula ng mutin o ng mutiny ay mga sundalo, no? So basically yun yung mundo nitong ano na ito, no. Panay. May
Okay,
mga
but
babae pero hindi sila yung I mean basically gombursa, puro lalaki yun.
Merong babae, si Inang Bayan. Yun.
pero yun, ang segue nun sa next question, Father Nono, why and how did you decide that this will be the second Jesuit film after Ignacio? Lalo na, ito na, parang sinabi, walang babae, mostly mga lalaki. Significantly, well,
Sige.
but will it appeal to the women crowd too?
Okay, doon sa unang tanong, number one, dahil nga sa 500 years celebration ng Christianity in the Philippines, last year nagsimula hanggang ngayon, gusto namin magkaroon ng ambag ang JesCom. Ayan, ambag. So kailangan merong kwento ng simbahan. So actually, ang dami namin pinagpilian. So nag-research kami anong pwedeng mga istorya, kwento tungkol sa simbahan. So isa sa inisip halimbawa namin yung pagdating ni Magellan, 'di ba, yung pinakasimula. Tapos the first mass. Naisip din namin yung Quiapo, yung pagsimula ng yung Nazareno, a devotion dito sa Pilipinas, 'di ba? And finally yung GOMBURZA. So eventually ang napili namin yung GOMBURZA kasi madrama nga yung doon kami na na kumbaga ang nag-appeal sa amin yung may Chinese, may Pinoy at merong Espanyol dito sa kwentong ito. Na ngayon ay yun yung Philippine society. So kung ano man yung kwento nila would kumbaga be relevant sa ating bansa ngayon. So yun po yung dahilan kung bakit naisip namin yung GOMBURZA.
Okay. Mel Navaro, shoot your question now.
Hi everyone. Congratulations po sa isang napakagandang pelikula. Good luck. Ang question ko po ay kay Direk Pepe. Hello, Direk.
Hello.
Good morning po. Curious lang po ako, by choice po ba yung hindi nyo paggawa ng pelikula sa loob ng 7 years?
Yes.
Okay. So, wala po bang nakahikayat ng inyong interest para makagawa ng any movie in the past 7 years? At ito lang po yung natanggap nyo so far?
Yes, this was the first in 7 years. When I heard that JesCom wanted to produce a film about GOMBURZA and they accepted pitches, I was excited to be able to pitch yung vision ko for the film. And very lucky na yung pitch ko yung napili.
Yes, Direk. And then ano po nakikita niyong challenges kasi this is a very challenging na makabuluhang pelikula na historical movie for our country. Ano po nakikita niyong challenges na para gawin po ang proyektong ito?
Well, hopefully the biggest challenge was is COVID. Honestly, can I say this? Actually, March we had March. When was the lockdown in 2020?
March 2020, yeah, direct.
March 2020.
I think 17, 18, 19, something like that. But we actually met as a production, all of us, I think around March 12, 13, 14. Because we were already getting ready to shoot. We were already doing our pre-production. And then the lockdown happened. So we were thinking, okay, maybe we can shoot later in the year. And then that 1 year became 2 years. And now, buti na lang, things are starting to ease up. So hopefully, tuloy-tuloy na. And by the time we start to shoot, we won't have to deal with protocols, a lot of protocols. This film kasi calls for a lot. It's a story about 3 priests. But for example, yung execution nila sa Luneta was very well attended.
Yeah.
Thousands of people daw. So yun, malaking crowd scene na yun agad, which we can't do with COVID. And hopefully, once we start to shoot, we can do it justice.
Yes, Direk. Thank you. You mentioned kanina you're into casting na since 2 years ago na pala yung inyong pre-prod, no? Meron po ba kayong pwedeng i-share sa amin na timeline na halimbawa you will announce the cast kasi I'm sure the fans and the audiences will be very interested to know, and then kung kailan po ang shoot?
Baka I should throw the question over to the production team.
Sino ang pwedeng sumagot po noon?
Well, I was given this factoid. They plan to shoot now July or August of this year.
July or August. Okay.
We'll see how it goes. Or Mel, baka ikaw na mag-soundbite. Sino yung sa tingin mo bagay dun sa Gomburza?
Ilan taon ba yung Gomburza? Sorry, I'm sorry talaga. Ano ba yung age bracket?
Oh, lagot babalik sa
25,
history
25
class
to 30.
Oh, yeah, 25 to 30.
Tapos si Gomez, matanda na, 60 na yata siya.
Ayun.
Baka mga Sid Lucero, mga ganyan. Mga, I don't know the others. Yun lang nasa isip ko sa ngayon.
Okay, yan yung mga nauna. Probably maganda yan, no? Tanungin yung press. Luisa, you still have a question?
Yes, sir. I guess
I'll ask you first. Sino sa tingin mo yung bagay Gomburza? Since ayaw magsalita ng mga creators.
I agree po dun sa earlier sentiment na parang siguro nga po dahil mga mestizo po sila, no, and mga Spanish looking, no. So I would think yung mga gwapong mga heartthrob po, gano'n ang mga mga bagay na ano, mga Paolo Avellino type of faces ang mukhang babagay po sa ganyang role, because syempre as you want to be as historically accurate as possible, hindi pwedeng mukhang Indio po. as much as we want us to be yung mga bida dyan.
That's true. So shoot your question na.
Yes, for Direct Pepe po and Sir Rody, I just wanted to know what is really the general message that you want audiences to receive from this movie, no? Considering that, you know, Gomburza were victims of, you know, the Spanish regime, and you know, amid the current political environment as well in the country.
Okay. Sige. Ako basically dahil sa mga nabasa ko at saka the way I understood and the way I wrote it, mas nag-focus ako doon sa pag-trace, no, kung paano tayo naging Pilipino. Hindi natin yung binibigyan ng masyadong pansin eh. Lagi lang natin sinasabi, mahalin natin ang ating bayan, very patriotic, etc. etc. Pero hindi natin inaalam kung paano tayo nabuo bilang isang bayan na hanggang ngayon pinagbubuno pa rin naman natin dahil hanggang ngayon ang lakas pa rin ng regionalismo, ang lakas pa rin ng ano, no. And ito yung kumbaga yung original na bukal, no, kung saan nagsimula mismo yung notion ng pagiging Pilipino. Nagmula ito sa gaya nga sabi ni Father Nono, sa mga pare, no, na Pilipino. Sila yung unang nagsiwalat nito, nag-call out nito. In fact, dun sa manifesto ni Padre Jose Burgos na sinasabing hindi naman daw siya sumulat, or well, hindi na inaamin na siya sumulat, ang nakalagda doon, Los Filipinos. And I think, as far as I know, that was probably the first time it was used as a signature na ang sumulat nitong malaking manifesto na ito ay Los Filipinos. And of course, kung paano ito nag-develop, para sa akin, importante yon kung gusto nating malaman kung ano yung halaga ng pagiging Pilipino natin.
Pepe?
Yeah, same. When there's a scene in the film where that word Filipinos is used for the first time, and when I read it, I got goosebumps because we never really think about how we turned out to be called Filipinos. And so as Father Rene mentioned a while ago, it's really about the seeds of what we now know today as our nation. And I think dito makikita kung bakit tayo fragmented. To call it that. Why there are different interests that sort of clash with one another.
Yeah. Final words, Father. I know Father Nene's leaving in a while. So, Father, what is there to expect and how important or ano yung bisa nitong pelikulang to, lalo na yung sa pinagdadaanan nating political exercise ngayon?
Well, you know what? I think maliwanag sa film na ito that history is what we make of it. And there are different players, and most of us are ordinary people. No? So I think lalabas yun sa script ni Rody. No? Nabanggit niya na isa sa mga pare ay sugarol. Okay? Actually, paborito kong kwento yung si Padre Jacinto Zamora. May kwento kasi si Padre Zamora why he got into trouble in the first place. Meron siyang mga kaibigan sa Marikina na they would come together and play card games. Tapos meron silang code. Kung meron silang pera, sabihin na tengo armas y bala. Okay? I have weapons and bullets. Na-intercept yun ng Guardia Civil. Tapos hindi na pala ibig sabihin, may pera ako ngayon, sumugal tayo. They-interpret it as real, bullets and guns. So, I think that idea of how, in a sense, heroes are not made of extraordinary people. They're made of ordinary people like us who made the right decision at the right moment in history. Pagsama ng ganun. And we can do that. We can make the right decision at the right moment in history. I do have to go because I have another appointment in a few minutes.
Maraming salamat, Father. Thank you very much.
Good luck. Thank you all.
Final words from the other members. Merong contribution si Marinel, Christopher De Leon, to be considered sana for the character na 60-year-old. So, yeah, the drama king to be there. Rody, go. After Father Mariano, ano yung visa ng sa pelikula ng Gomburza ngayong panahong ito?
Gaya ng nasabi ko na, no? Lagi nating sinasabi o lagi nating minamarkahan ang ating pagka-Pilipino. No? Pero hindi naman natin tinitignan kung saan ito nagmula at paano ito nabuo. Lagi kung sinasabi. Kaya siguro para sa akin napakahalaga ng kasaysayan, hindi lamang sa pagbabasa, kung hindi mismo sa pelikula. At natutuwa ako na nagsisimula yung ganitong interest na may sa pelikula. Yung mga nangyari sa ating kasaysayan na hindi madalas or ang alam lang natin ay yung postcard information. Ngayon mas lumalalim. Dahil pag nakita natin yun, isang paraan yun para magkaroon tayo ng mas malalim na ideya ng ating pagiging Pilipino, ng pagiging tao. No? So yun. Sa akin.
Maraming salamat, Rody. Ericson, go. Ano yung visa ng pagkakaroon ng ganitong pelikula? At saka, ano yung tama nito sa'yo?
Siguro ako as a filmmaker, magiging device to para mas masabi ko yung mga gusto kong sabihin in terms of the reforms that I want for the country. Diba? Kasi syempre, alam natin maririnig unless pakikinggan. Okay, I want this movie na maging vehicle na masabi namin kung ano ang mga pwede namin sabihin through this mission. So I hope aside from the people learning kung ano ang history ng Gomburza at makilala ang Gomburza, malaman pa nila at pwedeng sabihin ng yung deepest message na nangyari sa salamat.
Thank you, Ericson. Carlo, man, does this mean you're coming home for this?
Yes, definitely. Kasi tawag dito, I think as a filmmaker, this movie is privilege and a responsibility for us to make.
Good.
So
that's very good. So Carlo, man, bakit anong tama sa iyo ng pelikulang ito?
Nako. Yung tama, hintayin na lang natin pagdating sa paglabas sa pelikula kasi I think I want the visuals to speak for what we want to say.
Okay. So thank you. We're really honored to have you here and for you flying here to do this film. Bibihira yan. And then bago si Pepe, Gerald Anderson daw, Enrique Hill, Jerry Corrasales, and Tom Rodriguez. Yun, suggestions ni Mel Navaro. May pumasok ba sa wishlist mo, Pepe?
Meron naman.
Meron daw. Anyway, Pepe, go. Thank you for doing this, and we knew this from the start. No, but yun, parang eventually, so after how many years? A lot of years of not doing films. You've done short films. Pero ito, how will this define you also as a filmmaker, and how important will this be for our film industry?
I think for the film industry, it will be important. It will be parang an interesting way to get people to go back to the cinemas. I hope.
Sana.
This is the kind of story kasi that I think needs to be watched on the big screen so that you can really immerse in the world. So I really find it an honor to be able to give local audiences yung ganong klaseng experience. For them, I think yung importance ito is, of course, when you read and learn about history and when you watch history, mas lalo-lalo na when you watch history, mas naintindihan mo yung sarili mo and by extension yung bansa mo. On the screen, you're going to be seeing the same kinds of people that we see today, the same kinds of struggles, the same kinds of corruption, the same kinds of mistakes, and good decisions and bad decisions. And by the end of it, hopefully, I hope that viewers will be enlightened a little bit more. So, yeah, thank you.
Galing, galing. So bago si Father Nono, ayan, mga kaibigan natin, Natalie Tomada, Alden Richards, kung papayagan ng GMA, pwedeng i-offer or sabihin, mag-audition. No? Are you auditioning, Pepe? Pwede naman, no? For people in the States, normal yung ganong casting call, diba? That they read for parts. Will you be doing that?
But I think Father Nono, we have a lot of stakeholders rin kasi. So, but we're casting at the same time, I think, open up to.
Okay. Father Nono, before you give your final words, Michelle asked, kailan yung release date, target release date for this film?
Gusto namin Metro Manila Film Fest. Diba? Kuya Noel.
Oh yeah, I'm well, bagong administrasyon, so I'm not sure. I'm done na with my MMFF tours, pero because it has the biggest audience, no, for para sa mga local supporters ng Filipino film. So sana umabot doon. Pero ano 'yon kung July, August yung shoot, kailangan matapos for the finished film submission kung ganun pa rin yung rules. And then, paano yun, Father? Creative means of like distributing this. Of course, may online din after, no? Pero yun theater talaga? Ano, may misa ba bago ipalabas yung pelikula or may blessing yung mga pare para i-mobilize mo yung mga pare? May bless nila yung mga manonood?
Well, yung formula namin, kinausap namin yung meron ditong representative, yung Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines, yung ating mga Catholic universities, Catholic schools. So kumaga required required viewing.
Yeah.
So kahit papaano meron tayong audience talagang maaabot.
Maraming salamat. So Father, final words on hindi lang ang industriya natin kundi doon sa pananampalataya, no, sa simbahan. Mahalaga na pinagsasanib puwersa 'yon.
Yes. Una sa lahat, thank you sa team na ito, thank you Direk, kina Rody, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat for accepting this work. Number two, sa lahat po na nanonood ngayon, wag po kayong mag-alala. We will be putting up yung ways how you can help us, you can donate. Kasi ang gusto namin is there's an owning up din na mangyari from yung audience, yung naniniwala sa pelikulang ito, baka pwede pong sumuporta kayo. So we will be doing that. And finally, yung pinaka-objective talaga namin dito, as you said, yung mga mananampalataya, meron pong responsibilidad sa ating lipunan. Hindi pwedeng nagsisimba ka lang, hindi pwedeng nagdadasal ka lang, hindi pwedeng nagnonobina ka lang o nagro-rosaryo ka lang. Sa kasaysayan po natin, pinakita yan itong mga tatlong pare na tayo ay may responsibilidad pananagutan sa ating bayan. So ito po ang nais naming ipakita sa ating pelikula na ang simbahan po ay hinarap yung pananagutan na yon. Kahit mahirap sa kanila, kahit ito po ay humantong sa kamatayan itong tatlong pare.
At yung kamatayan nila yung naalala natin ngayon, February 17, 1872 kasi nangyari yon. At ngayon, we're planting the seeds now. At good luck natin yung mga taong kasama sa team. At maraming salamat din sa mga kaibigan natin sa press na nandito. Ma'am Ceres Doyo of the Inquirer, Von Belinario of TV5, Marinel Cruz, happy birthday again, Inquirer Entertainment, Michelle Ann Soliman ng Business World Arts and Culture, ang kaibigan din natin Natalie Tomada na nagsabing si Alden Richards, si Patray ng Philippine Star Entertainment, Luisa Morales ng Philippine Star, CVCP, Monsignor Pepe Quitorio, Mel Navaro of Creative Tech Productions, Aubrey Carampel, hello, Audrey ng GMA News, June Magtanob ng Radio Veritas, Stockholm, Novaliches. Marami sa si Dit Sablana. I can see a lot more people, Romar, Fernando, and a lot more people here. Gay Sabiga, thank you for putting this together also. Paul and Ernestine, maraming salamat. Thank you so much sa ating mga viewers din na sumama sa atin sa Facebook, sa YouTube pages ng JesCom at Radio Katipunan. Thank you sa ating mga resource persons for sharing their time, wisdom, and insights on the heroic martyrdom of the Fathers Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora na ikakast soon. As audiences discover Gomburza's powerful tale of faith and patriotism, may they become true witnesses of selfless and genuine love of country. So please watch out for JesCom's grand tribute to the Philippine Church and all our beloved kababayans, GOMBURZA. Mabuhay at maraming salamat po. Magsimula na ang casting at production. Lahat ng mga suggestions na isulat nyo na po dyan. Baka meron pa kayong magagandang ideya kung paano makisa para dito sa proyektong ito. Maraming salamat and
thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Salamat. Thank you. Nagpaka-safe naman yung mga creators, hindi nagsabi ng pangalan.
Salamat.
Thank you,
Thank you, Noel. Thank you,
Maraming
everyone.
salamat. Thank you.